Top. So I just want to walk you through a couple of slides of what we have had and where we're headed. The first slide is a little bit of from where it began. So this is the south side of Unity, circa 1947 or sometime thereafter. And as you can see, a big piece of the original architecture was the entry, the south entry into the building. How many of you have more or less exclusively used that south entry through the years? So maybe you saw a sign on the door this morning that said, hey, this stairway is not open as of September 4th. So not only did the legal courier come pick up the contracts, the contractor put his excavators in there and was ready to get to work. We didn't intend to hold anything up, and I'm not saying that we did, but there were some contentious discussions, and in part due to the historical use. Now you can see the building, and you can see and are very aware of the alleyway that has served the building so that we could park and walk directly into our building. So that was a significant change back in that day, from surface parking to what it has been. But we've become very accustomed to that. So too had Unity become very accustomed to the width between the garage and our building. So turns out that when the Fillmores built this place, they did so with very restricted land area. So we only owned, when we finally got around to looking at the deed from 1900 whatever, that we owned 5 feet of land there, and yet we had been using a bigger piece of that land for many years. So that was part of what had to be kind of resolved. Protracted discussions ensued, and the negotiation of sort that has led to an amicable resolution. And so it's today that Duke announces that resolution, and I'm here to show you a little bit about some of the change that will take place. We built that many years ago to try to shield from snow and rain, you could see that that's our property because it goes all the way over there. It just is. It's the way it's been. This is your entry into from the garage, and today you see signs that say, hey, this is not going to be here starting next week. And then a lot of what's being deconstructed, the demolition, is above the children's mural. And so all that brick and the structure stays, the main lines of the parking area, but all the infill has to come out. The general contractor for this project is an outfit called Whiting Turner, very reputable, well-respected construction outfit. They made this animation for us to show you, which is starting next week, they will begin to erect what is a scaffold system bounded with plywood on the top and the sides, so that the coming and going from the playground area all the way to Jefferson Street will be protected. This large monolithic wall will actually continue down the building, so it's not just that section, and it will continue down to protect both the walkway, which is protected, but also anybody that unknowingly may be in that area from falling brick and what have you. So basically it's 3 feet of scaffold covered in a mesh, and the mesh keeps the brick from falling on the people below. So we're going to end up moving from what we're accustomed to once construction is completed, the 2 after pictures that you see there. So we've ended up with a 10-foot wide sidewalk on the right, larger even than what we have in the before picture. And we have a lot of blue sky that we haven't had for a long time. So to a certain extent, there's benefit in what has been designed and created here. So I want to look upon it as a benefit. So this will then provide the access for parking underground or within the various decks. And from there, we'll need to walk from the parking lot into the back entry of our building. So instead of coming from directly across the street, we have a bit more of a walk, but we have this garage reopened, basically, in the future years. And as such, The total number of spaces being lost in this garage is around 200, 220. And so that's going to put a pinch on things, especially around the holiday period. What we're really talking about is an extended period of inconvenience for us as this all takes place. But I do want to point out that the open area and the feeling that it provides is a welcome addition. That's the north side of the Nordstrom building. So the drive that we just looked at is right here on the right. That's their facade at the front. And that is looking from east to west at what we will see. Now, a couple of months ago, there were a couple characters vying for the mayor position here in Kansas City. And I had the privilege of being one of the questioners. I took it upon myself and interrupted the flow a little bit because as I sat up here awaiting my turn to question, I calculated that there were 500 to 600 people sitting there. These are people from all throughout the city. And I threw open the question to the crowd, how many of you have been to Unity for any form, purpose, service, lecture, musical event, a graduation? And 85 to 90% of those hands went up. This building is an ecumenical statement in and of itself. As the Fillmores had founded Unity, trying to bridge the faith, the unity, and spirituality for each of us, no matter what our religious or otherwise background. And this building represents and has manifested that for many years. So although we'll be inconvenienced for a while, and change is truly the only thing we can expect and rely on, there will be change. So let's work through that change together. I encourage you to invite a friend, fill up your car to come find your place to park here. And let's make this place the vibrant place that it has been going forward, because it truly is a bastion of spiritual benefit, experience. It's our lifeblood, and this building simply manifests that spiritual lifeblood. Would you not agree with me? Thank you very much.